Majority Report with Sam Seder.
The destiny of America is always safer in the hands of the people than in the conference rooms of any elite.
Sam Seder.
They are unanimous in their hate for me, and I welcome their hatred.
We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
The Majority Report with Sam Seder.
Ever get the feeling you've been cheated?
It is Monday, October 20th, 2025. My name is Sam Seder. This is the 5-time award-winning Majority Report. We are broadcasting live steps from the industrially ravaged Gowanus Canal in the heartland of America, downtown Brooklyn, USA. On the program today, Jasper Nathaniel, publisher of the Infinite Jazz on Substack, currently in the West Bank. Also on the program today, Israel continues to bomb Gaza despite supposed ceasefire. It's day 20 of the government shutdown. We're weeks away from millions on federal food assistance from losing that. We also, feds, as of today, are furloughing most of the workforce overseeing the U.S. nuclear stockpile. No Kings protests across the country Saturday. Perhaps the largest in the history of the United States, drew between 5.5 and 8.5 million people to the streets. Meanwhile, U.S. Marines, encouraged by Vice President J.D. Vance to hold a celebration, detonate a shell over Interstate 5 in California by mistake. Convicted, disgraced former Congressperson George Santos gets a commutation by Trump because, of course, U.S. kills more boaters in the Caribbean, then released two who survived the strike to their home countries, despite being alleged narco-terrorists.
Weird.
Huh. Trump pressures Zelensky in meeting with Putin to give up territory for peace. Trump then floats subsidies for Argentinian beef imports to help with the rising price of meat in this country. And the Coast Guard, you'll be happy to know, buys 2 private jets for Kristi Noem. One presumably for Kristi, and I guess the other for Corey Lewandowski.
Oh, no, they want to be on the same
Wait, they're on the
flight.
same boat.
The other one's for her husband.
Oh, yes. For $172 million. All this and more on today's Majority Report. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for joining us. It is
Monday.
not Fun Day Monday?
Oh, Fun Day Monday. Yes, yes.
I mean, fair. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully many of you have your own No Kings stories. There were people out in all of the major cities, millions of people out in the major cities across the country. I was up in Kingston, New York, and there was, hard to say, but I would say at least like 2,000 to 5,000 people there marching through the city. Ryan spoke, the congressman for the 18th district was there. I went with my daughter, which was fun.
Very fun.
And I've just heard from people all across the country that there was tons. Let's take a look at what we have up here.
Yeah, this is, I guess...
It's footage from Minneapolis, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Chicago, New York City was packed, San Diego, Boston, insane. We're getting people just on the IMs right now. Yosemite, Sam Cedar. I live in a tiny town in North Carolina. There was at least 300 or 400 people protesting there. Cho says we had 10,500 to show up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We're going to see more come in. Estimated 125,000 people out in Boston. That's crazy. Let's play a couple more clips. What else do we have here?
This is Arkansas, just in case any Republicans watching think, oh, these are just blue, degenerate urban areas. No.
They're saying release the files in Arkansas. Left of Strage says Albany protest, miles of people lined up on the busiest sections of the road. Tom Cotton's Beard 2000 in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. In Juneau, Alaska, says Uday and Kusei Lutnick, 750. Mego 2000 in Peoria, Illinois. Hopeful 900 in Haverhill, Mass. That's pretty good. Ramona Frankenstein, small town I grew up in New Hampshire, at least 200 people. Long Island popped out big, says Nassau County spokesperson.
All right.
Easy 10,000 plus in New Orleans. Carly Chirk. Denver, 25 to 35,000, says Saturn Girl. Wilmington, population 127, 7K showed up. Adam Lefty. This is where?
Idaho.
Here is Boise, Idaho. Population of Democrats. This may be,
Pound for pound, the most Republican
the
state
most
in the
Republican
country.
state in the country.
Yeah. I do like that they're still patriotic here. That's their form of protest. That makes sense.
Clearwater, 6,000 in Eau Claire. 3,000 in Newburyport, Maine. I mean, it really dramatic numbers across the board here.
And it pissed Trump off, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Let's show Donald Trump's reaction. It was, I mean, you could say on some level he pooped himself, but he decided to aim that poop on the American public.
Great. Here
it is.
It has a copywritten song, so this is a
okay.
silent version.
This is him. Okay, pause it for a second. It's him flying a fighter jet. Now, of course, this is fiction. Donald Trump would never be able to fit into a fighter jet.
Yeah, look at that torso.
He also, the best part is, look at, the mask is not even over his nose.
Yeah, he doesn't need it. He can breathe up there.
I don't need the face diaper up here.
There's no COVID on Mars.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about that. And it's the...
It says King Trump on the side.
Yeah, and the idea, of course, is to sort of like play into it. But what's impressive is that they spent all of the past week or two talking about this as it's going to be full of Antifa fighters and ninja fighters and Hamas and Hezbollah and what is like a Red Dawn,
America hating Marxists,
and on and on. And then, of course, all they're talking about now is it was all boomers, it was all old people.
I mean, compared to the pro-Palestine protesters, yeah, I would say it skews a little bit older, but that doesn't mean that this is not like a show of major discontent with Donald Trump. Like, that's what matters, is that people were motivated enough to get out on a Saturday and protest this administration.
Oh, I'll tell you something. They're nervous about this because if they are right, and my experience was that it was, most of the people I saw were Gen X or boomers out there, at least up in Kingston. I was with my daughter. I mean, I saw young people as well, but that was, I would say probably 45, 40 and older were the majority of people. In midterm elections, like the amount of the electorate these people represent is extremely high.
Yeah,
and
that's
they
the boomer
seem
part.
very, very motivated.
Can we just play a little bit more
We
of
didn't
this?
get
Oh
to
yeah,
the-
yeah.
we
Sorry,
didn't get to the poop.
we didn't get to the part where he's on his jet and he basically. Now I don't know how this works. Brian, you've been in the military, but
not
I
Air
can't
Force.
imagine they would have let you in the Air Force. But but I don't know if it works this way where they actually put a pipe that goes from the seat, because of course
I know.
you can't relieve yourself if this goes from the flight suit but here you see Donald Trump with just massive diarrhea coming out of him through the airplane.
I mean, right, exactly. How much did he eat that day?
Yeah, I mean, it was
Same
pretty
amount.
Light lunch.
He's the president. You guys have to respect him.
At least he wasn't wearing a tan suit. When he was
You're right. You're right.
You guys want to divide us all the time. You got to support our president.
Now, I've seen like a little bit of some cynicism about these protests, and obviously the protests mean nothing if there's no organizing that comes out of this. But at least at the protest that I went to, there were a lot of tents. There was a lot of like tables set up. People are organizing. There is no doubt in my mind. Now, let's assume there were close to, I would imagine there were closer to 8 million than 5.5 million, because there's so many towns where you had 1,000 people come out, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 people that are just not going to be recorded. But if even just a tiny percentage of those begin to organize and they have access to those people who were there, it is helpful. And as far as the No Kings thing, at one point, my hope is that those involved in the anti-oligarch tour that went around, like Sanders and AOC, and people who fight oligarchies and concentrations of wealth and power. When we think about kings, that's what the kings were. They were just like, they didn't just have a monopoly of power. They had a monopoly of wealth and resources. That was like almost like definitionally what the king was. And we obviously don't have the same system of government, but the problem, it remains the same. I cannot remember the name of the professors we had on who had written that book, The Anti-Oligarchic Constitution. Pat Ryan up at Kingston, his speech was talking about the Declaration of Independence.
Fishkin and Forbath.
Yeah, Fishkin and Forbath, talking about the idea of no kings in the Declaration of Independence. But the concept of kings, when we talk about someone who has a monopoly of power and wealth, really sort of like the monopoly of power came first and the wealth just followed, because they were able to say, we'll take all the wealth because I have this army.
Yeah.
But the idea of monopoly of wealth, giving that type of oligarchic power, this is what we're fighting against.
And that's why there's some people that are cynical about, like, it seems a little designed to avoid the question of capitalism. But I don't think that story is finished yet, to your point. You know, there's still an opportunity to connect it to what we've been saying about oligarchy and taxation. It's just that it kind of fits into what we're saying about what we were saying last week about the Democrats losing credibility by being undemocratic in their lack of responsiveness to their base, right? If the only message is that of democracy, we cannot do that again.
Well, I mean,
they
here's
leaned
the
into
thing.
that with Kamala Harris, and it was not potent enough to overcome people's obvious material reality.
Here's the thing. The oligarchy we have now is only a function of capitalism because that is the path that we have been on. There are other ways to get to oligarchy. We can see it around the globe. And so it's to say that the problem is capitalism is to elide the fact that the problem is oligarchy. The way in which we got to oligarchy, we in this country, as opposed to, let's say, Russia, did not head to oligarchy because of capitalism. It was an injection of perhaps a form of capitalism, but with a pre-existing structure that was also problematic. It is important to address the oligarchy, and King's is a childlike way of saying oligarchy.
FDR got to economic royalists.
Exactly.
I would say that conditions are going to force us in that direction as well, even if there's a resistant part of the Democratic Party that doesn't want to talk about it.
And then the question is, like, once it's become clear that we have a monopoly of power and of wealth and a concentration of wealth that does not serve democracy, the question is, like, well, how did we get here? And that, in our particular case, it is capitalism. And there's going to have to be a change to renew democracy.
Yep.
It's going to have to come from a different system that we have practiced that brought us to this point. But we have a little more to talk about that, but a couple of words from our sponsors, and then we're going to be talking to Jasper Nathaniel from the West Bank. And folks, check out his Substack, Infinite Jazz. Much of the footage we're going to be talking about is going to be available there, and a piece that he wrote in the Paris Review. But first, like I say, words from our sponsor. Oh, this is easy. This morning, when I got out of bed, I got out of my Cozy Earth sheets. They are fantastic. They are temperature regulating. I don't want to go into it, but I had some problem with my neck. After the show Friday, you saw me rubbing my neck. Saturday, I was laid out. It was a real problem. I got a heating pad, but the rest of me is cool because of my Cozy Earth sheets. I love their joggers. I love their hoodie. In fact, I think that one of them, because I have two as a backup, was absconded with by a child of mine. I'm not going to get into it. But Cozy Earth bamboo sheets, they are temperature regulating, guaranteed to give you a comfortable night's sleep. They are made from viscose, I should say, which is from bamboo, naturally wick away heat and moisture from your body, helping you sleep several degrees cooler, but they are incredibly soft. They have something called the Bubble Cuddle blanket, which is an ultra-soft blanket, offers a combination of comfort and style. This mid-weight faux fur blanket is great for lounging anywhere in your home. I've given Cozy Earth PJs as a gift.
Same. To my mother-in-law, and it was like
T-shirt, all the stuff.
I get compliments about it all the time. So
I honestly, I don't know what to tell you. There is not a single Cozy Earth purchase I have made that I am not excited about. With the sheets, you get a 100-night sleep trial. You try them out. If you don't love them, return them hassle-free. You will not do that, I can assure you. They have a 10-year warranty because once you feel this level of comfort, you want it to last a decade. And I actually have had sheets that have worn out, if you can believe it. I'm that type of spendthrift. Thanks, Cozy Earth, for sponsoring this episode. Head to CozyEarth.com. Use our code Majority Report for up to 20% off. That's CozyEarth.com. Code is Majority Report. If you get a post-purchase survey, tell them you heard about Cozy Earth right here, because home isn't just where you live, it's how you feel. Let's go home with Cozy Earth. Also sponsoring the program, something else also been incredibly helpful to me. Fall always feels like a reset. You got back to school for me, busier routine, shorter days. I have no time to cook, particularly at this point in the season. And that's why I love Factor. They have chef-prepared, dietitian-approved meals that make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious no matter how hectic the season gets. I want to thank Factor. It's a HelloFresh company for supporting the Majority Report. Go to factormeals.com/majority50off, majority50off, and use the code majority50off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for a year. I've had, first of all, it's super easy. The stuff comes in packaging. Almost all the packaging is totally recyclable. And I put in at the beginning of the week 6 meals, 2 for Saul, 2 for me. No, 3 for me, 3 for Saul. And it is the perfect amount of food. He'll eat his vegetables. He likes more pasta stuff, maybe with a little bit of pork. Sometimes no. I like maybe occasionally, like I'll have a lamb chop or chicken. He's also loves the chicken stuff, but they have all sorts of type of meals. A whole different range of palettes if you want, like different types of menus. If you like doing a keto thing, they can do that. They do family friendly. I mean, it really is fantastic. You can support your wellness goals, even more GLP-1 friendly meals and new Mediterranean diet options packed with protein and good for you fats. They have global flavors, Asian inspired meals, bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more. 97% of customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier life. Feel the difference no matter your routine. I also understand now why people have, what do you call it? Microwaves.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Really, honestly, the first time I
it's
ever used
convenient.
microwaves.
Yeah.
2.5 minutes, and the meals are done. Eat smart at factormeals.com/majority50off and use the code majority50off to get 50 off your first box, plus free breakfast for a year. That's code majority50off at factormeals.com. 50% off your first box, plus free breakfast for a year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with the code and a qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. We'll put the link in the podcast and YouTube descriptions. Quick break. When we come back, Jasper Nathaniel. We are back. Sam Seder, Emma Vigeland on the Majority Report. It is a pleasure to welcome back to the program, and I'm glad to see you're in one piece. Jasper Nathaniel, he's the publisher of the Infinite Jazz on Substack. Jasper, you're currently in the West Bank. I just want to say just up front, like during the Iraq War, we as a show helped raise funds for a guy who had gone in, because most of the people were embedded, gone in on his own, had like traversed across the border. And the kind of work you're doing in the West Bank is so important. I think we're going to see the implications of it just on these people's lives in a bit. But just to have an independent journalist in the West Bank who is able to not have to worry about an editor getting their stories up there or having it killed up the line, because frankly, most news organizations at this point that have in this country, who have the means to send somebody to the West Bank, tend to be a little bit sensitive and in terms of like posting stuff that is in any way revelatory about the way that Israel operates or things are operating in the West Bank. So I just want to start with that, aside from like the obvious sort of like physical danger you were in yesterday. But it just, I appreciate the work you're doing there, and I hope folks will go and support the work you're doing there as well.
Thank you. That was very nice. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, people here are always saying, like, why is it so unusual to see, like, that people find it unusual that I'm there as an independent journalist. And that's weird to me. This is like one of the worst conflicts in the world with its implications included. And it's weird that I am like it's weird that people are saying it's unusual to see somebody like me, I have to say. I mean, like what happened yesterday, which we'll get into, that's happening every single day here, every single day. And it's crazy that like, this is the first time, or it's not the first time. It's crazy that like this, it just broke through because I posted it online.
Yeah, I mean, let's get to this. This footage is going to be, you know, there's a bit of it, but why don't you just tell us, like, it starts out at 7:40 in the morning. Tell us what's going on with this settler blocking. You know, set the table for us and we'll play the video.
Okay, so I'm in the town of Tayasir, which is it's like outside of Ramallah. It's an interesting place because it's 85% American citizens. So the vast majority of people who live here are Palestinian Americans who basically go back and forth, and it's a pretty wealthy town. So this is a place that has been like pretty insulated from settler violence and just general occupation violence for many decades. Not completely insulated, but relatively speaking, it's been okay. Really just until the last couple of years is when it's gotten bad. And what it comes down to is these settlers are setting their sights higher. The farmhouses in this agricultural land are like little mansions. The land itself is like beautiful and lush. And so this is not something that happens here all the time. It happens all across the West Bank, but these are not people who are used to dealing with, you know, these violent settlers. So anyway, the violence has been getting worse, and basically, like, there's this whole swath of agricultural land between the two settlements, Shiloh and Adayad, and then the town of Tayasir. The land has gradually been taken by settlers who show up, build an outpost. You know, they basically prop up a tent, put an Israeli flag, and then suddenly two tents, and then like if you go near them, you get shot. And so over the last couple of years, almost all of their land has become inaccessible to them. So they decided yesterday they were going to go out for the first time this year, all as a unit. So there was basically like a caravan of farmers and their workers who all driving out together at 7 a.m. So I think what you're about to show is like 2 minutes into that drive, basically.
And I just want to mention this. I know this is on the, I know it was originally in the Paris Review, but it's now on the top, I think, of your Substack. You wrote a piece just, I don't know, 10 days ago, 12 days ago, that talks about folks, I think from this town, American citizens who are here trying to, who have been trying to get the U.S. government to pay attention to the fact that American citizens have been killed in this, in and around these areas to absolutely no avail. It's heartbreaking. But all right, let's play this clip.
Can I just say one thing about that? I'm literally in the house of Mohammed Zahir Ibrahim, who is a 16-year-old Palestinian American kid who's been in Israeli military detention since February. I'm staying with his family right now. So that's how close we are to the place where these Americans are being killed and abducted.
Okay. Let's play this clip now. 7:38 in the morning. Go ahead.
Get through. He has a gun.
He has a gun?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Where's the gun?
In his right hand.
Oh, yeah. That's a gun, all right.
Okay, so you can hear you and your driver, I guess, who's driving.
That's the farmer. Like, it's his land that we're going to, Yasser, and he's an American lawyer. So, you know, he owns land in the West Bank. And he also has a home in Anaheim where he runs a family law practice. So that's who you hear throughout a lot of these videos.
Okay. And so these guys, these settlers just come down. I mean, this is the dynamic that I think people don't fully understand is the settlers try and like push the boundaries literally, and they sort of do it with this sort of like tacit approval of the IDF, or there's this sort of like the IDF is supposed to like constrain them, but sometimes does and sometimes doesn't. I mean, there's okay. And
well, in this instance, it appears like they were were directly collaborating, right, Jasper? Because they okay.
Let's get ahead. So we're at the next one. This is
just to address what you just said. Like these settlers most likely have been sleeping in a farmhouse owned by one of the farmers trying to get out to his olive grove. So they wake up, come out of the farmhouse that belongs to someone, look in their binoculars, see the Palestinians coming out, get their gun, go down and block the road. So like that's how perverse this is. Like they're literally staying in the homes built by the people trying to get to their land.
Okay, let's go to the next one after that. This is part 3. Yeah, let's go to part 3. This is where you guys drive around, try and find a different area, and then you at 8:37 a.m. you get out of the car to go talk to the IDF.
Do you want me to give context on it first?
Yeah, please do. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, like we got blocked by the settler with the gun. We found another route. We actually made it to the olive groves, which was like a really nice surprise for everybody. The farmer that I was with, Tayasir, realized very quickly that his trees had no olives on them, which was probably just a bad season. So we decided to leave. So we go back to leave the way we came, and there's settlers blocking that way. So then we go back to leave the other way, and there's just an army jeep in the middle of the road, and we don't know what to do. And so we talk about it, me and Tayasir, and decide of the two of us, I'm less likely to get shot if I approach them because I'm white. So this is me. My phone is in my pocket because I didn't want them to see me recording. But walking up the hill, my hands in the air, they're pointing their guns at me, and I'm gonna go basically ask them if they will please help us get back into the village.
Your phone's in your pocket here.
Do you speak English? We just need help getting out because the settlers over there are blocking us. This is the only other way.
Where do you want to go?
Just back to Termasaya. Back to the village, that's it. Yeah, just want to go home. No, I live in America, I'm visiting.
Your family here?
No?
No.
I'm here for the olives.
Okay, you have passport?
In the car.
Bring it.
Bringing passport?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So then he's like, do you have a picture on your phone? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. And then they're like, you know what, you're fine. Go to the car and come through. So he gives us the green light to go.
They were looking for a picture on your phone? Do you think they were?
No, they wanted to know if I had a picture of my passport on my phone.
Oh, okay. Because they clearly were like, do you have family here? They want to know if you're not Palestinian type of thing is what they're asking. Okay.
You're just visiting.
Yeah.
Did you deliberately not mention that you were a journalist there in that instance, just to kind of, right? I mean, that's smart.
Yeah, I just like path of least resistance.
Right.
I don't. In hindsight, maybe just wanted to try the olives was not the most obvious thing I could have said, but.
That came off as a little snippy. Maybe like something like, I'm just a Jew who loves olives, and something like that.
It was off the cuff.
Well, I mean, I imagine at that point, like there's a little like rising intensity. Okay, and so you
So I walk down the hill.
Yeah.
I go. Tayasir's waiting there with the car. I get in. I'm like, great news. They said they will help us out. They'll help us get out. So then we drive up the hill, and is the next video you're going to play where we talked? Okay, so then you're going to hear. We get up to the top of the hill. Soldier gets out of the car, puts his hand out, is like, stop. So we're waiting. and then you'll hear me ask him a question, I think.
Settlers. And they're protecting. Right here.
Oh, sorry. Pause it a second.
Pause it.
Once we get up there, I realize there's settlers up there too. Not just any settlers, but it's the guy who had the gun who we saw in the morning is there on an ATV with another settler.
So they have been tracking you guys and are following you this way. They're basically coming to head you off at this other pass. Okay.
Correct. And so we are thinking, okay, the soldiers are going to help us get by these guys, basically. And like, just to state the obvious, like, not every settler carries a gun. When one of them is carrying a gun, it's a completely different situation. Like, you know that they could kill you at any moment, and they will. So like, you really just don't take any risks at all when you encounter a settler with a gun.
Okay. Oh, you're going to move them? Yes. Oh, thank you.
So I'm like, are you going to move the settlers? Like, yeah.
Oh, they posit. They offer, we're going to move them.
Yes.
And then you can go. So they're saying it.
Correct.
That's the IDF. Yeah.
Correct. That's the idea. He says, we're going to move them and then you can go. And I'm like, great, they're going to move the settlers. And then the next thing that happens, which I did not get on video, is the IDF Jeep just speeds off, just disappears into the dust, and leaves us with the two settlers on the ATV. And then there's also another car of a Palestinian farmer and his workers, and their windshield was completely smashed and their tires were slashed because the settlers on the ATV had just done that to his car. And so now it's us, the car with the windshield broken and the slashed tires, and then the two settlers on the ATV. Which one are you playing next, Sam? And then
this one is we get in the cars, drive off, but the smashed car gets stuck, so I try and get out to help the settlers.
Yeah, so basically, no, not to help the settlers.
I mean, the settlers appear to have left at that point.
So the settlers on the guy on the ATV sort of goes off, and we're like, oh, great, okay. And then we start to leave, and then I realize that the car with the slashed tire is not able to get out, which, in hindsight, duh. So I get out of the car and I go offer to help him. And when I'm outside pushing the car is when, about 100 zombie-like savage settlers just appear out of the hills and start chasing me. So just to spell it out, listen, I don't have any definitive proof that the IDF knew they were there or that they set it up or whatever. But what I do know is that the IDF was up there. They said they would help move the settlers. They then left us with two settlers in plain sight that they saw. And then about 100 more immediately appeared and came after us. So I find it very unlikely that they did not know there was 100 people in the bushes right behind them.
Okay, and then you turn, and there's 15. Yeah.
Yeah. The next one is me running away from the settlers. This is like the moment the attack sort of starts in earnest.
Hey, press! Press! American press! American press!
Didn't work.
Press!
We're trying to get to a torched car.
What'd you say, Jasper?
The siren that you're hearing is a Palestinian fire truck was trying to get to a car that had been torched.
I'm almost trying to find the footage, the wider shot of you.
Then there's another shot from a distance, right? That
are you on the Substack? Are you on the Substack video?
Yeah. Oh, here it is.
It's right now.
Okay. This is another angle, and you can see Jasper in the black shirt running and trying to shoot over his shoulder with his phone.
In hindsight, I would have put my phone away a little bit earlier.
Here they come. when you refer to them as zombie-like, it looks. There's that.
Like the 28 days ones.
And what is that car? And that car is the one that they had slashed. Yes,
they dragged the driver and the passenger out of the car, and miraculously they both escaped. So then basically what happens is me and the two guys in the car are running for our lives. This group is chasing us down the hill. Like, this is like a big hill, and we're running down the hill. The village is basically at the bottom of the hill. And they're coming after us. And as we're running, we'll run into other people who had been there harvesting and didn't know this was happening. So then they would start running too. So it's like, it becomes basically just a whole group of people running. And then the guy who we will see in a moment with a big club, he was like, I don't know if he is the leader or if he is just the cruelest or the biggest warrior or whatever, but he was like on my tail, hunting me down, basically chasing me. And I get to Yasser, the farmer I was with. I get to his car and I get in, and I immediately start filming again. And so I think the next clip you'll play is right after that chase. I get to the car and the crowd is right behind us.
What are we? Right behind us. Oh, he's right here. He's right at the smash room. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Get ready. Yeah, there it is. Are the doors locked? Oh, fuck.
Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, so he's trying to get into the car. Obviously, he smashes the rear windshield. So basically, there's like a line of cars now trying to escape. I thought that we didn't realize that there was anybody still out. Like, we thought that everybody had like either made it out or gotten into a car or something. I wasn't sure about the two guys who were in the car because I hadn't been with them. But in terms of like everybody else, we think everyone is gone. And then we see the guy who had just smashed our windshield, who had been chasing me, come across the side of the car. And then we look ahead and there's a woman by herself, like maybe 30 feet ahead of us, picking olives. And I will tell you, both me and Yasser, we talked about this a lot today. Like, both of us thought there's no way he's going to attack her. There's just no way. I mean, she's an older woman. She's by herself. She's so clearly defenseless, picking olives. Like, this is a huge guy. He's got a club. Like, what kind of a absolute monster would attack her? And so the next clip is what happens.
And just, we should, tell people this is a little bit graphic and, content warning. This is pretty upsetting to watch. This is an Israeli settler who sees this elderly woman picking olives, and this is what he does.
You got it. Oh, come on. Don't fucking hit her. Hey! Oh, my God. Hey! Hey! Hey!
So then we're like tracking with him, and he now it's just like there's other people just standing there. And so we are now like trying to get people into our car away from him. And he is just like going to town on people. And keep in mind, there's tons of settlers behind him. So there's a stampede going on. This guy is just out in front. You can see one or two others in it. But the next thing that happens is there's two activists. And I want to give a lot of credit to these international activists who tend to stay anonymous. But I mean, these guys really put themselves right in the line of fire. And so then I think the next thing you'll see is him attacking two activists. One of them broke his arm, broke his leg, got a concussion, stitches in his head. The other, I don't know the extent of their injuries, but they're both pretty seriously injured.
Holy shit. Hey! Oh, no. Hey, get it, get it, get it!
And are those activists able to get into your car?
I get out of the car pretty soon after that. So yes, one of the injured activists is then carried into the car. The one who broke his arm and his leg and got a concussion is then, it's not on camera, but he's then brought into the car right when I get out of the car. This is, I think the next clip is just our car getting attacked again. Because again, like they're still here.
Right.
They're
Let's
everywhere.
go to the next.
Let me say one more thing, Sam. The activists and journalists, but primarily the activists, like are told explicitly, like there's a whole system here of protective presence. There's these big organizations that run it, and one of the number one rules is you don't fight back, which is it's crazy to imagine. Like if you're getting attacked or if you see somebody else getting attacked, what do you mean you don't fight back? And the reason is not because the activists could get hurt. It's because if you fight back and you hurt somebody, the settlers will come back the next day and punish the village for what you did to them. So a lot of like activists in the past will try to be a hero, right? They try to step in, they try to fight the settlers, they try to get in between, and every single time, it's not the activists that pay, or in some cases, the activist gets injured from it, obviously. But the point is the settlers then take it out on the Palestinians. So that's why you're seeing like it's completely one-sided. Also, they have the weapons, obviously, but just some context.
I'm gonna get out here. No. Somebody needs to document this. Let her in. You get in. You get in.
امين اسرع حزم جمعي تعال شوي اوه يما ساعد يا اوه يما
And which car now next? They light a car. The settlers, Israeli settlers, at that point, then light a car on fire.
Yeah, they torched a couple cars, but like it's like so. After I helped get the injured woman into a car, there's like settlers still kind of hovering, but they're like starting to disperse and go back up the hill because they've gotten close to the village now where they might actually meet like a larger group of people than them. And so then I see just this car up in flames. I think it's the car that had been smashed earlier, but I actually don't know what car it was. But I mean, after it was over, it was just like, it was carnage. I mean, there were just people screaming, like so many people hurt. And I just want to say one thing, right before we went on, the BBC published an article about this, and like it's pretty accurate. Like they interviewed me for it, but the IDF in their statement claims that the confrontation dispersed after they arrived. The IDF never arrived. They never came. They left right before it started, but they absolutely, not only did they not disperse it, they did not show up. So again, like imagine an event this big, over 100 settlers involved in an attack, and like the army just doesn't even show up. So
can you
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. Go ahead.
How would they know? I mean, like, give us a sense of how they would know. Is it possible the IDF, like, okay, we know that the two soldiers who were on the presumably on the highest point in that area sped off just before this happens. Is there any other way? I mean, so, you know, there's some reason to believe that this was sort of like.
You're asking, do they have plausible deniability?
Yeah.
I suppose they have plausible deniability that they did not actually know that there were 100 settlers ready to attack, because I don't have a smoking gun that proves it. But they have no plausible deniability that they did not know that there was a settler with a gun waiting there for us.
Right.
In all likelihood, he was the one who then went and signaled to the others that it was time to come. So
they knew something was potentially going down there.
And then once it starts, there's sirens because cars are being crushed and exploded. There's like tons of shouting. There's a Palestinian fire truck, so there's sirens. Like the IDF is around. They were just there. So like, I don't know. It's hard to imagine why. And by the way, I stayed for like an hour after it was done, and they never showed up.
Okay.
They never came.
Well, I guess that kind of leads us into the moment where we zoom out a little bit, because yesterday when this had happened to you, you know, we were on our page and other shows were trying to get the word out, because basically the U.S. Embassy had declined to protect you. And you are a constituent of Senator Chuck Schumer, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, and I believe Representative Goldman, right? So we were tagging them in all this stuff because the United States government, represented, you know, by Mike Huckabee, a Christian Zionist in Israel as the Israeli ambassador, they were basically declining to help you.
Yeah, I mean, remember, this is a mostly Palestinian American village. These are American citizens, every bit as American as me. So like me being there actually shouldn't change anything for them. Like they should all, and in my text exchanges with the embassy guy, he acknowledges that there's 60,000 Palestinians in the West Bank. So like right off the bat, they
Palestinian Americans?
Yes, Palestinian Americans.
Yeah.
So yes, sorry. Yes. So right off the bat, they've been ignoring terrible violence against Palestinian Americans for years, they admit. And now I'm coming to them as, frankly, like, let's just be real, like a white person who lives full time in America. I'm probably more American to a lot of people in our government. And so basically what happened was, I can't remember exactly how, but like somebody was set, the video just like immediately started going viral. And my phone started blowing up. And then like somebody from the village had contacted the US Embassy, and somebody from the embassy asked to speak to me. So I get on the phone with someone. He was talking to me not in my capacity as a journalist, but in my capacity as a American tourist there. So unfortunately, I can't use his name, but he tells me on the phone when we speak, bro, this is terrible. Man, I saw the video. That's so fucked up. Like, I mean, he's like really like broing out with me. He's saying all the right things. He's like, these settlers, man, they just this and that, like, just like really like putting on an act that he's like, this is just, he's like, enough is enough. Like we're going to stop this. And I'm like, okay, great. So like, you're going to come in and provide protection for the people in the village because, you know, they're under attack. And he's like, I got to have a couple internal meetings and then I'll be back in touch. And then the next text exchange is when we text, and
you get one of these for the next hour, 2 hours.
Yeah.
And what was the text exchange?
Oh, you have it on the screen. I mean, he if you don't have it, it's okay. He basically says, I say, okay. I said to him, people are going back out tomorrow to the fields. I'll be going with them. We need protection.
Here it is.
And he said, you got it. Okay.
He said, unfortunately, we've already told the Israelis that they plan to be out there again tomorrow. I'm friends with the mayor, Lafi, but then You're saying we need protection. We are
Well,
Americans.
wait. But this is interesting though, because you read this part about.
okay.
Then again, we told the Israelis yesterday the villages would be out there today. So in other words, he's saying like we're doing everything we can, but we have no control over these guys. They're crazy.
Right. Right. And then you say we need American protection. We are Americans. Unfortunately, we simply can't do that. Much as I might personally like to, we haven't gotten the manpower to protect the nearly 60,000 American Palestinians, and legally we're not permitted. So
and
there
then you
go.
say, "I'm an American tourist. Can you protect me?" And then did you get one of those like?
The next part is.
Oh yeah.
No, put it up because there's something I want to point out.
Here it is. He writes, "Unfortunately, no, the protection of American citizens is always the responsibility of the host nation government, which is why we pull our embassies out of places that host nations can't or won't protect them. Syria, Iran, Yemen, Venezuela, etc. etc. is doing a lot of work there."
North Korea.
And then you write back, "Are you implying that the Israeli government will protect me and the other Americans here? I don't understand. The IDF led us directly into an ambush." That's what's supposed to happen, yes.
But it didn't.
So he has repeatedly in our conversation, like, said, like, well, let's be real. The Israeli government is not fulfilling their duties here. But in the same conversation, he says, if the host country fails to protect Americans, we pull our embassy. So, like, why do we have an embassy in Israel? I mean, I'm not even trying to, like make a great point here. Just, I mean, that objectively speaking, they're not protecting Americans here. The Israeli
you just did a story 2 weeks ago about Americans killed in Israel by Israeli forces. And not only will they not pull the embassy out, you can barely get a meeting with lawmakers who represent these people.
Right.
What has struck me throughout this entire thing, and it's also, you see this in the context of the hostages as well. When there is an American Israeli, as opposed to an American Palestinian, like that person becomes an icon if they are killed in Israel. This happens on a regular basis where American citizens are completely, they're either killed, they're imprisoned, they're beat up. Nothing by the media, nothing by the U.S. government. It is such an explicit manifestation of, I don't know if we want to call it racism or the or if there's some other dynamic layered on top of the racism, or if the racism allows this other dynamic to happen. I don't know, but it's so clear. There's two different standards.
I think it's a combination of like just pure racism, like Islamophobia, but also anti-Palestinian racism, which is distinct, and also like combine that with just complete deference to Israel, who's responsible for all these killings, and these people just don't exist. I mean, like I said, I'm staying in the home of a 16-year-old an American teenager.
Yeah.
He we have the guy who runs the prison system in Israel openly bragging about torturing and starving prisoners, including Americans, the flotilla people. And I can't tell you how hard it's been to get any politician to pay attention to this kid who's stuck in prison.
Can we put up this image of him just so people know? Good on Ayanna Pressley who put out this statement about this. I wonder, honestly, if some of she's been great on this issue regardless, but Mohammed Ibrahim, a U.S. citizen, is being held in Israeli prison. His health is deteriorating. The circumstances are desperate. The United States must use every avenue available to secure the release of this Palestinian American child. And I just want to put that image up there because that is a child. I mean, looking at him, it's just insane. And we have no idea what is happening to him in these Israeli torture dungeons right now.
He was supposed to spend this past summer working at the family ice cream shop in Tampa Bay. He was going to work there with his first cousin, Saifullah Musalet. Saifullah was beaten to death by settlers a couple kilometers from here in July while Muhammad was in prison. So as far as the family knows, he doesn't know that his cousin was beaten to death. Or the prison guards have been taunting him with it. That also is a thing that happens. But think about that. I mean, this ice cream shop, two of the people that were supposed to be working there, first cousins. One is dead and one of them is left for dead in Israeli military detention. I mean, these are Americans. It is so absurd. And I just want to say, like, listen, right before this, I was visiting Saifullah's grave, actually. And right next to him is a grave of Mohammed Shalabi, who is an 18-year-old who was murdered on the same day as Saifullah. He got, whatever little amount of attention Saifullah got, Mohammed Shalabi got less, because he's not an American. And, like, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but the reason I'm putting such an emphasis on these Palestinian Americans is not because their lives are more important or more valuable, but it is because when the American government refuses to step in to in any way protect their own citizens, get justice for their murder, help rescue them from torture dungeons, it goes to show just, the extent of our just, horrific relationship with Israel.
Yep. All right, let's play this. You posted this about 3 hours ago, because it appears that, like, things settled down probably in the wake of how far your reporting traveled, or maybe explicitly so. And let's play this, but I want to talk about the dynamic that must exist for this to be the outcome right now. And I'm curious about that. Okay, let's play this.
It's because your video yesterday, that's why today it doesn't come.
The settlers?
The settlers, yeah.
That's good to know.
All the world saw your video yesterday. That God sent you for us.
Oh, well, all right.
It's good to end on a little bit more. Of
let's play this one. Let's go to this one. Let's go to this next one down on the thread with the Israeli.
This is the site of the attack yesterday. So I returned to the same olive fields, and the farmers were like overjoyed because they were picking their olives in peace.
And then, like, go below that one. Is it that one? No, this one I'm thinking of. I haven't watched it, but you say let's this one speak for itself. Here, this one.
Well, first do the one actually. I think where the third one in the sequence where I literally all of a sudden I'm like, oh, there's soldiers over there, and I asked somebody and he says, yeah, there's soldiers and police here doing an investigation. And my immediate thought is like, well, we all know what
the last one I put up there.
You have the soldier?
No,
but
the one below it, the one below it in the IM.
Yeah. So anyway, they asked me
the one below that.
Officer comes over and says,
"Okay, yeah, okay, sorry, that's it."
Sorry, yeah.
All right, here we go.
Yeah. So this guy's filming me right now, saying that I'm here making propaganda.
Sorry. It should say, I spotted the soldier who lured me into an ambush. It's in the thread of the first video that you played. So if you go back to that first one you played, I think it's the third tweet in that thread.
Okay.
All right, we have it.
You told and us. I regret about it because I saw the video. Yeah. I don't have a clue.
Yeah, you didn't know?
No.
Okay, I'm filming, so.
He told us.
Huh?
He told us.
This is the one who. This is the one who told me, come on up. And then as soon as we got there, sped off, and then the settlers came out.
Tomorrow I want you coming to my station.
You got
I take your phone.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So they're here like claiming that they're doing an investigation. I mean, undeniably, they were there in part. They were going around checking on the farmers, making sure they were not getting attacked by settlers. Now, is it coming from a sincere wanting to protect Palestinians' place? I don't think so. I think they're chastened. I think that the coverage yesterday had an effect, and that's certainly what the locals think. I think you should, if you want to do one more, you should do the one where I say just let this one speaks for itself. This one's pretty fine.
You see that one? That's the okay.
So this is again like it's the big oaf is the guy that I had spoken to the day before, and
I mean,
the other
look,
two.
Maybe you can't say this, but it's quite clear to me the guy's lying. I didn't know. I didn't know. We just sped off at that one moment. I mean, give me a break. And he knows he's smart because he's also covering his face.
Yep.
Hey, you know, I almost got killed yesterday when you did that. Yeah, you led me right up into an ambush.
Oh, really? Let me adjust my mask.
You know that? You were right there and you left, and I got chased by 100 settlers trying to kill me. I could be dead. I could be dead.
Listen, they want to investigate the assault.
Okay,
They
yeah.
need your help.
Yeah, you're going to be
Can you
investigated
help?
too, though, because you're part of it.
Can you help them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So it was doing some propaganda.
Propaganda.
Yeah,
Yeah, I almost
of
got killed yesterday.
Yeah,
Is that
but
propaganda?
it's
You
not
saw
our
the
fault.
video. You saw the video.
If we had don't care, we just don't come here and try to protect you. But we care.
Oh.
And we got
Oh.
the police to investigate.
So has he been
this
arrested
case.
yet? Has he been arrested yet? The guy who
We
did
are
it?
looking for him, and
Okay.
then we will arrest him.
Okay.
Of course.
All right. Good. Good.
Those people are charged to take some DNA and all those things.
Yeah.
But without feeling.
Okay.
It's amazing to
love
see how they cover their faces like that. It's very
And then
much.
The last
Yeah.
one is very short, but Matt, put up the IDF TikTok one if you don't mind. Because then I walk away and I look over and I realize one of the soldiers is just straight up filming me, definitely making a TikTok. Like these are on duty soldiers, and I just catch him like making a video of me.
So this guy's filming me right now saying that I'm here making propaganda. I got chased by 100 settlers yesterday. I almost got killed because these guys set me up. And he's over here saying I'm filming propaganda. Incredible. Incredible.
Like, can we just talk about discipline for a minute? Like, why these guys shouldn't even be talking to me, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. That presupposes that they're not doing exactly what they're, not out there to do. I mean, the way that we got a torture regime in Iraq was not because people were ordered to torture. It was rather, there's no recourse. Don't worry, guys, we're unshackling you. And that has that same feel there. And they just got pressure from some political, from somewhere within the government. Like, this is a little bit of a tense time. So you guys got to chill. Talk to me about that dynamic, because it's quite clear that they can't, when the guy's like, if we didn't want to, if we didn't have to be here to protect you, we could just, I mean, it's the same sort of like mentality of like, it can't be a genocide because if we wanted to, we could just kill everybody with a nuke. Right. There is international pressure does work to an extent, right? Like that's what this shows. They walk this line of just how much can we get away with seems to be always the type of thing. And that line keeps moving.
Yeah. So then, so we have like the oath from the beginning and then the TikTok guy. And then there's a third guy who I don't think we've seen these videos, but he's like the one who's got it together. Like he's a good talker and he was like a nice guy, just interpersonally. And he says to me, like, look, can we talk human to human? Do you mind not filming? And I was like, okay, but I'm going to be writing about it, obviously. And he's like, well, you're going to try to spin my, anyway, we agreed to speak off the record, or on background. And basically he says, he's being very sincere, or, you know, showing sincerity. He's like, you went through something very traumatic yesterday. We're very sorry that it happened. We don't like it either. These settlers cause us a lot of problems. And it made us look very bad, what you said. Like, they always accidentally say that. He's like, it made us look very bad that you said we led you into it. And I was like, I know. I noticed that it made you look really bad. I'm sorry. And he's like, why did you say that? And I'm like, well, because you led me. So anyway, then they start actually disputing. Like, they, you know, they will claim that basically what they're saying, that first they were saying, the first thing was, we didn't know there were settlers there. So then I reminded them that we had a conversation about it. I played them the video, and I reminded them that there were 2 settlers waiting there in plain sight. And then they said we had other missions and we couldn't wait around to make sure that like every settler was gone. So we knew about those, but we didn't know about all the others. Like, okay, all right, so that's what you want to say, fine. And then basically I said, okay, so you're saying you didn't know. How do you not know there's 100 people right here? Like, there's not like there were 4 of them. And they're just sticking to, we didn't know, but then coming back to like, they really want me to revise the record, to say that maybe they messed up, but they did not, there was no deliberate attempt to lead us into harm's way. And like, I'm not under any illusion that suddenly, like, because this video got a lot of views, settler violence is over, obviously. But it actually reminds me of a scene from No Other Land, the documentary, where Tony Blair goes to visit one of the communities in Masfriata and like brings a day of like international attention to this village that's going to be demolished. And then he leaves and they don't demolish it. And the villagers are like, look, did Tony Blair like help us? Yes, he like probably saved this one village for demolition. Does it solve all of our problems? Absolutely not. But it goes to show that, like, you know, Israel, as you say, Sam, like they are responsive to diplomatic pressure in some ways, despite how it might look in Gaza. Like, that's why they have not killed more people, to answer that question that the genocide deniers say. It's like, because they need to maintain a certain level of standing. And so I think a video goes viral yesterday of an older woman being clubbed unconscious. And like, I mean, and to make matters worse, there's a video of like a zombie apocalypse of settlers chasing an American. And I'm making a lot of noise about it. I think that the message got to them that, like, if there's another really, and I told them, like, I'll be here tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. I think the message came through. If tomorrow's another bad day, we might be in some trouble.
Well, I mean, yeah, Israel is obsessed with public perception or international perception, right? Like, you see the footage even from like the protests in Tel Aviv. The so-called liberal Israelis are basically like, they'll show sympathy for Palestinians, but many times the framing is that we don't want the world to have this critique of us. And so when you can turn that vulnerability against them, to your point, via journalism, that's where it puts them in a position where they have to respond to it.
Let me ask you this: what capacity does the idea? I mean, 2 soldiers, if they had seen those 100 settlers, it would have been a different story, right? I mean, the soldiers have a lot more firepower than those settlers do at that moment, and the settlers can't afford to attack the IDF, not at that moment, A. But B, what capacity, and correct me if I'm wrong on that, what capacity does the IDF have to know where those settlers came from, right? Like, I mean, it's not like there are roving nomadic.
Yes, that's a great point, because actually you just reminded me, I forgot about this. The soldier who I was arguing with, the like smarter one, said to me, we don't know where I was like, have you arrested the guy yet? He's like, no. I'm like, why not? He's like, we don't know where he lives. And I said to him, yes, we do. he lives in one of the farmhouses that's been occupied, or he lives in one of the tents that have been put up. Like the settlers have a very clear, systematic way of stealing land. What happens is they're in their settlement, and then a couple of them peel off. They put a tent down and a flag, like I said before. They build an outpost. And now, with this government, years later or months later, Smotrich retroactively recognizes it as a settlement. So to be clear, like these settlers who are completely out of control, like rogue, savage, the most violent of the settlers, or some of the most violent, I should say, these are the ones, like, this is why when Yinon Levy, a settler, murdered Auda Hathalin a couple months ago in Al Khair, this is why Smotrich and a bunch of other right-wing Israelis come out and say, this is a Jewish pioneer. These are the people on the frontier of the Jewish state, because these violent settlers are quite literally pushing the boundary. And so this band of savages, they are doing the government's bidding by being out here putting down roots and terrorizing Palestinians and getting them off the land. And right now, it looks really bad for them. But in a couple of years from now, people will forget about the woman who got clubbed in the head. And if the settlers did their job well, then they will have gotten the Palestinians out, and now there'll be a respectable settlement here. And so that's how it happens.
There was a video that you took, and I can't remember from when it was, over the past couple of days. And I don't know where you are pointing to the guy you were with's land, and there's the hardware store and which one is that? Do you remember which day that was?
You can find it in my Instagram stories, Matt, if you want to look. But I know what you're referring to, and I can explain it. So,
well, yeah, because this is a perfect visual example of what you're talking about, how they sort of creepingly take one sort of 25 yards at a time, essentially.
Yeah, Matt, I'm going to send it to you. It'll take, just give me, do you want me to take a minute?
Is it in your stories right now?
Yeah.
Yes. I have your stories up here.
Hold on. I'm just texting it to you, Matt. Okay. Sorry, revealed, Matt.
But that for me was really made it clear on how this happens, because it's hard to conceive of what's going on there, I think, for Americans who have a different perception of this stuff.
I texted to Sam and said, because Matt, you don't have an iPhone and I don't have good service here, but yeah. So while you're hopefully getting it, I'll explain what it is. So we're looking out. Actually, I'm in Tayasir, so the town that we've been talking about, and we're looking out at the Shiloh settlement on one side, and the other settlement, Adayad. And then all this agricultural land in between Tayasir and the two settlements. And this is the land that has been basically taken by the settlers. Did you get it, Matt or Sam?
It hasn't come through yet.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
it's okay. But your explanation, I think, will cover it.
Yeah.
If you look at my Instagram stories, it would be in the Ramallah district stories. But anyway, let me just explain what it is. It's okay. So basically, there's a bunch of shells of buildings, but really nice looking buildings, because again, it's a wealthy area. And the guy who I'm with, who's Yasser, the farmer that I've been with, is pointing at each of these buildings and explaining to me what it was supposed to be. So this one over here was somebody building a house for his family. And before they could finish it, the settlers started coming and threatening them. And now the settlers are literally using it as a base. This one over here is a local hardware store owner was ready to open up a second location. He wanted to do it in the olive fields, which is obviously a place where somebody might need to go to get farm tools. And before he gets to finish it, the settlers take it over. So like point by point, they are just taking each of these things that the Palestinians have actually built. Did you get it?
I got it. I've sent it to you.
Oh my God.
By the time
this is...
Don't hold that up, because if there's a number on there.
Yeah.
No, there's no phone numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, and perfect.
Yes, this is perfect.
This is how it all starts. It starts with a tent, then it becomes a container, then the container becomes multiple containers. They put up the flag, Israeli flag, and all of a sudden it becomes theirs. That building over there.
Oh no, keep it to...
All right, yeah.
That building, it used to be for a home supply store, building supplies. Under construction, another company, which is in the middle of the town, wanted to construct another location here, further away from the center of the town, and war erupted, and they could not continue. And all of a sudden, it now has the Israeli flag.
So the frame for that building was a hardware store being built by somebody in the town.
Somebody in the town, yeah.
And now there's just an Israeli flag.
These two buildings, this building right here, this building, the closest to us, the owner cannot finish it because every time he does any plumbing, they come in and they steal the pipes or they steal the hoses. That building, it's residential apartments. The owner cannot finish it. The settlers are constantly inside attacking it, breaking things inside it. So.
And one other thing that I did not capture in that video is they stole all of the grape vines or the grape plants, and this pissed me off so much. They opened up a winery. So there is now a brand of wine that ships to the US, by the way.
What's it called?
It's called Shiloh Winery, and it has great reviews on Google, which also pissed me off. Like the winery itself, which of course is, open to non-Palestinians only. So they are now making wine off of stolen Palestinian grapes and selling it and profiting off it, obviously. Meanwhile, Palestinians are not even allowed to dig for water. So it's just, and this view actually, though, Sam brings up one other point I want to make about the town, which is that, like, this town is unusual because, like I keep saying, they have money. And these people, for the most part, maybe with some exceptions, they don't rely on olives as like their primary income. So their livelihood does not depend on being able to get to the olive groves like it does in so many other places that I've been. However, when you ask the farmers, like, why do you keep going out, risking your life over it? It is a pride thing in part. I mean, I think a lot of people know that, like, the olive tree has a lot of symbolic value to Palestinians too. It takes a very long time to grow, but there's also a very practical thing, which is that the settlers, like in that view you were showing, Sam, they started at the two settlements. They took a little bit of land. They took a little more land. They started occupying these buildings. They took a little more. They're almost at the village. And the people in the town feel that if they don't go out into the fields and put up some level of resistance, even if it means just being there, then it's a matter of time before the settlers overtake the village. And when I tell you there are beautiful homes in this place, I mean, I have no doubt that the settlers are, their mouths are watering over the opportunity to kick people out of these homes. So it really is like an existential threat to what is like a pretty wealthy, largely American community. And like, we're literally talking about the people that you see in that attack video that we showed earlier. So like, that's what they're up against. And that's who America is just completely refusing to defend them against. And that's why I think this place in particular is so interesting. Like, if these people are now as vulnerable as they are, just imagine the shepherding communities, the Bedouin communities, I mean, they are utterly defenseless. And I mean, it really is just like a sign of just how grave things are, that the most privileged parts of the West Bank are now experiencing the same type of ongoing, regular, deadly violence, land theft, and the U.S. government and the Israeli government are deeply complicit in it. And the only hope, you know, if just to go by what the Palestinians say, at least, or the ones that I know, is to keep telling their story. And I know that's like cliche, and it's like, well, did it get us anywhere with Gaza? I mean, it kind of did, because like, if there was not the enormous wave of public opinion shifting, like the genocide probably never would have ended. And the thing is, like, you're not seeing that with the West Bank at all. Like, there's very, very little noise about the West Bank. So while there's this ceasefire in Gaza that we're all supposed to be celebrating, which, by the way, I'm like behind on news. I hear Israel's back to bombing Palestine there. But even so, like in the 2 days of quiet, such as it existed, the West Bank was as bad as it's ever been in terms of Israeli violence, and no noise about it whatsoever from the mainstream media, from political figures, and they are going to get run right off this land if that doesn't change. And so, yeah.
Well, Jasper Nathaniel, folks can see your reporting and support your reporting at Infinite Jazz on Substack. We're going to put a link to that. Folks should also follow you either on Instagram or Twitter, because the amplification of what you're sending out clearly, at the very least, is helpful in that narrow context. Hopefully some will spill over, but can't tell you how much I appreciate your coming on and the work you're doing. Really important stuff, and obviously dangerous. Stay safe. Good luck with this, and keep us updated.
All right, Sam, Emma, thank you.
Thanks so much.
All right, folks, we've got to take a break. Yeah, buckets and buckets. Isn't the ceasefire over? It certainly seems like it. Apparently, an Israeli bulldozer went over an unexploded ordnance, and they decided to blame that on Hamas. And Trump has also conceded that Israeli-backed gangs in Gaza were firing at Israel to stir things up, but that, you know, the bottom line is Israel just continues to bomb innocent civilians.
Can you at least give me a month so I can pose for the Nobel Prize, please?
But it's also fascinating that you would presume, I mean, we all assume, like, oh, okay, he's whatever, however many miles away, an hour's drive from the Gaza Strip. But the way the news works within the context of Israel is, I don't think they don't cover such things in any way that the Israeli public would have information, and certainly not in just the West Bank. Again, we'll put that link up to Jasper's Substack. Support him. Frankly, I think he should have a system of backup cameras. But all right, we're going to take a break. Head into the fun half. Don't forget justcoffee.coop. Today, in lieu of membership call, go support Jasper's work on Substack. That would be helpful. Matt, Left Reckoning.
Yeah, Left Reckoning. We had a Sunday show for members yesterday, patreon.com/Left Reckoning. We got into some stuff with Zoran and him and this final stretch of the campaign, and also talked about Graham Plattner, who is good and is going to be the next senator for Maine.
All right, quick break. Fun half.